Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey there, this is Steve Roy, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. Before I get into today's show, I just want to share a little bit about what we're up to at the Fit Dad Nation. We've got a really amazing group of dads. We have a tribe, or a brotherhood, if you will, in what we call the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle. And this is our private membership community. We're just doing such great things, and I'm so proud of what we've actually built in the program, but also proud of the men that are in it. We're doing monthly challenges, and one of our members, Jack, just came off of one of our challenges and lost 21 pounds and 4 inches off of his waist and is riding high. And he's just taking that motivation and that success and just moving forward to this month's challenge. And I just love seeing that. And it's every guy's got, something else going on, whether it's a personal goal, it's a fitness goal. It's just so great to see men becoming better, and that's really what the program is about. We do so much in there. We do weekly calls, we do monthly challenges, we have transformation challenges. We actually just finished up with our last 8-week transformation challenge, and there's just really a ton of resources in the group that are designed to help you as a busy dad to get fit and stay there. So you can check that out. Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle. The website is fdnic.com. I'll link to it in the show notes. So today I want to talk about laziness, because this is something that just pisses me off. I had a client recently. He told me, I asked him, I said, what's the one thing that's standing in your way from the body and the health and the fitness that you say you want? And his answer was just very blunt, and it was, I'm just too lazy. And I'm like scratching in my head, like, you just told me you wanted to lose this weight. You want it to be healthy for your kids. You want it to be a role model for your kids. You want to live longer. You have all these things that you really want to do that are important to you. And the reason you're not doing them is because you're fucking lazy. I said, you out of your fucking mind? That is insane. I said, if you don't want it, neither do I. I'm not wasting my time. If you can't even make an attempt, right? So this show isn't about beating you up if you're someone that calls themselves lazy. Let's be honest. We all like to be lazy asses sometimes, right? And it's easy to be lazy, of course, right? It doesn't require any mental or physical exercise at all. You're just being lazy, right? But just because you call yourself lazy doesn't mean that you're doomed to a life sitting on the couch, or that you aren't capable of changing and doing great things, right? You're just stuck, right? Maybe it's mental, maybe it's physical, maybe it's both. And, laziness, it's a habit. Okay, this nothing more than a habit. It's not who you are. You're not inherently lazy, right? It's just something that you've learned. So I want to talk a little bit about today about some of the reasons that you may feel like you're lazy, and then some reasons and some ways to break out of your laziness so you can actually start getting on with your life and doing shit that you want to do, whether it's fitness related or not. So the first thing I want you to look at is look at your life as a whole. Are you uninspired by your life? And that kind of sucks to say, but sadly, millions, I mean millions of people are uninspired by their life. They're literally going through the motions of their day. It's like you're punching a clock, just waiting to turn 65 or 70 so you can retire, and then you can sit on your rocking chair on your front porch or go play golf and then die. That's how people live, because they're checked out. I see it every day. I lived it for a decade. I actually started a website years ago. It was a blog, and I started writing about that very thing, about how people are just basically punching a clock until they're dead. And it's fucking depressing, man. And it's no way to live. I feel really strongly about this because I did live that way for a long time. I felt really down. I felt trapped. And I was just literally going through the motions of my day, getting up on autopilot, getting in my car, sitting in the traffic for an hour and a half, sitting at a desk, staring at a computer, which I didn't give a shit about what I was looking at, but I had to do it just to collect a paycheck. Came home. My home life wasn't great. And there was just nothing inspiring about my life. And I just didn't really feel like, I had a whole lot going for me. And I'm not alone. I mean, things are much different for me now. I changed my situation dramatically. I turned my life around, and I'm in a much, much better place. But there's still so many people that live that way, and it sucks. So, first thing, let's look at your job, right? Just take a look at your job. Do you like it? Do you love it? Or are you tolerating it, right? I mean, there's no nobility in going to work doing something that's quote unquote prestigious for a paycheck, right? I get it. You have to support your family. I understand that completely. It's a valid concern. However, in this day and age with social media, you can do anything you want to do from a phone, basically. I mean, that's the power of social media. So using an excuse, I have bills to pay, I have obligations, I'm just going to ride out my job for the next 30 years, even though I fucking hate it. If that's your choice and you're going to do that for the rest of your life, then, I honestly feel bad for you because there's no way to live. I was on that path. I literally was on that path. I had a great job on paper. I had a career in finance. We had a big business. Things on paper were wonderful. I had an office with a view, but it was literally sucking the life from me. Like I would go into work, even though I wore nice $1,000 suits, and I felt like I was important. It was prestigious, but I felt like it was sucking the life out of me. And so after 11 and a half years and a separation, I decided that I couldn't do it any longer. Life is too short. And so that's what I hope for you is, I'm not going to say, hey, go quit your job and go pursue your passions. That's stupid. But start planning for something. Find out what you love to do. Start hustling on the side. I did that for many, many years as well. Many years. But, you're spending 90,000+ hours at work over the course of your lifetime. Why would you be doing something you hate? So look at your job first. Then look at your relationship. Is it out of convenience? Is it just a partnership at this point? Are you unhappily married? Are you miserable? Are you fighting? I mean, obviously there's a reason why 50% of the marriages in this country end in divorce. It's because we're not, maybe necessarily getting married for the right reasons. We're not wanting to put in the work that it takes to have that lasting relationship. And just, the legal system allows us to get, divorced with a flick of a pen, and it doesn't even cost that much money, and it's a pretty easy process. Of course, once you get divorced, that's a much different story. But so the reason for that, I believe marriage is worth fighting for. I tried for many years, counseling and everything else. It just wasn't the right fit for us. But for a lot of people, put in the time. But look at your relationships, and if it's not building you up, fix it. Go see somebody. Get some help. Seriously. It's that important. And then look at your lifestyle, your diet, your movement, your exercise. Right? That's a big area, obviously, a huge area. If you're sucking down Wendy's cheeseburgers and fries and Frosties every day, and you're stopping off at the gas station to get M&Ms and Gatorade, what do you think is going to happen to your energy, right? It's going to suck. I used to literally live on Red Bull, Pop-Tarts, and peanut butter bagels. This was when I was in a very different place, right, than I am now. But I felt terrible all the time. Sure, I had short spikes of energy, which is exactly what the sugar does to us. The energy drinks, the sugar, but that's very short term. If we're not exercising consistently, at least walking a lot, get off your fucking ass and do it. I mean, I don't want to hear, I don't have time. I've covered that. There's no excuse. The busiest people on this planet make time for themselves, for exercise. You can too. Okay, so we're looking at that. So, in looking at a couple of other reasons why you may be lazy, one is you're overwhelmed, right? You just have too much to do, and not enough time, or, perceived time. I like to think that there's always time, but some people load their plates so much that they're just in a perpetual state of being overwhelmed. And you've heard someone say paralysis by analysis. You just think about it. So much to do. Oh man. And then next thing you know, what you do? Nothing. So, that's the easy path. Just do nothing instead of taking on all the things that you have to do. Just shirk that responsibility and do nothing. That's being overwhelmed, right? Could be the fact that you're just tired, right? And that's very lifestyle related. It could be a form of depression, and I don't like to throw that word around, but I have certainly met people that are clinically depressed, and that's a totally different animal. But don't just say, "Oh, I'm depressed because I don't like my life." Right? That's not depression. But look at the stress level in your life. Most dads that I've spoken to over the years have said their stress level is pretty high. And it doesn't mean it could be financial stress, it could be relationship stress, it could be your career, your job, right? I mean, it could be any of those things. And you have to figure out how to manage that. If you don't manage your stress, find an outlet, whether it's yoga, it's banging your head to Slayer like I do, it's going to the gym, sitting in a float tank in the pitch black for an hour, whatever you need to do, meditation, find your outlet and do it frequently. Look at your sleep. If you're not sleeping 7-8 hours a night, that's a problem. That will catch up with you, right? What about stimulants? If you're using a lot of caffeine like I do, a lot of people drink tons of caffeine. I know people that drink 15 cups of coffee a day, right? What do you think that's doing to your system, right? You're going to have to keep taking more and more and more. Eventually, you're just going to be worn the fuck out, right? You have to manage your intake and cycle those stimulants. Okay, and that's a topic for another day too. But are you drinking enough water? Just being even slightly dehydrated, which doesn't mean you're like dying of thirst. It just means you're not getting enough water for your body and the processes. That can affect performance, mental clarity, energy in a big way. And some people don't drink hardly any water. So look at that. And then look at your food, of course, right? That's we just talked about that. Food is going to control a lot of how you feel. If you're feeding it garbage, you're going to feel like garbage, right? Now, some people, and I have a little bit of experience with this personally, it's self-sabotage. So sometimes we have a fear of success. And it sounds weird, right, to have a fear of success. Like who doesn't want to succeed? But for some people that don't feel like they're worthy, or they don't feel like they're good enough, and a lot of this is stemmed from childhood. And for me, I've actually dealt with this for a while. My parents were divorced when I was young, and I went through a number of things I won't get into, but I felt for many years that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy. And it's a conversation that I still play in my head, that I have to constantly remind myself of certain things. So that's a very real thing, is being afraid. And so, some people feel like, hey, if I succeed, I'm going to push those that are closest to me away because they're not succeeding. And, that's a form of self-sabotage as well. And on the flip side, there's a fear of failure. So, a big one is, maybe you don't want people to see you trying, giving it your all, and not succeeding, coming up short. Then, you're kind of showing your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses, and some people just can't handle that. And so it's easier just not to try at all, right? I mean, why risk failure when you can just do something that you know you can do well, right? And avoid any possible embarrassment or shame or any of those things. And that's, those are real things. And, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but those are very real things that need attention because they can hold you back for your entire life. And some of those things that I just mentioned may even be holding you back right now just from getting your ass off the couch into the gym or to do some form of exercise. So I'm going to talk about a few things now that I've found that work as far as solutions. How are we going to break out of this habit of laziness? Okay. So first thing is first, right? I always go to inspiration. So if you're not inspired by events in your life, find something to be inspired by. So I'll use fitness as an example. I had a client once. We worked together for a couple of years, and he loved to run races, 5Ks, 10Ks, Spartan races. And that was his motivation to keep training. So he wanted to continue training, but he would often get sidetracked and unmotivated. He would be demotivated. And I was having that conversation over and over until we finally figured out that one thing that kept him going was the thought of something in the future, which was a race. So what he started doing was started signing up for races as early as he could, months in advance, and then actually booking hotel rooms in that city. So these weren't local ones; these were across the country. So he would literally prepare himself 6 months in advance and have that to look forward to. Say, okay, I got my ticket, I'm registered, I'm doing this event on this day in this city. So find something like that. Find something that you can get fired up about. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be fitness related, but for the sake of this conversation, I want to talk about getting you to break your habit of laziness for fitness, right? Because I want you to get off your ass and I want you to do something with your body. So finding your why there, finding your inspiration. Okay, it's out there, I promise you, but you kind of have to do some work and look for it. Number 2, change your daily routines and your habits. All right. Obviously our habits control everything that we do. Laziness is a habit. Habits are formed from our daily routines. So we're going to start changing those one small thing at a time. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to quit all of your bad habits at once and think that you have to go to the gym 7 days a week. You have to eat super, super clean. Everything has to come at once. That's not going to work. You probably, most likely, will not succeed doing it that way. Instead, change one thing once a week, change one thing once a week or every 2 weeks. Okay. From what I've read, and it varies depending on how difficult the habit or how ingrained your habit is, but it takes anywhere from about a month to 3 months to really adopt a habit into your lifestyle. So it's like a permanent habit, like brushing your teeth and making your bed. Unless you're not making your bed, but so let's start changing small things. Cut out the soda, right? Stop that extra trip to pick up the croissant at the store on your way to the office. Small things. Make 15 minutes to do push-ups before you go to bed, or as soon as you get up, right? Something small. I don't care. Do squats in the shower. Like that's a habit. Continue to do it every single day. Okay. You can also challenge yourself. A lot of people are driven by challenge. And so, a little competition can help. Find a way to push yourself. And so we run challenges in the inner circle every single month. And it's actually a huge thing for a lot of guys because it's something that they can really sink their teeth into and say, okay, for the next 30 days, and these aren't like super long challenges because those a lot of people fall off the wagon with long challenges like 3 months or more. So short challenges, 2 weeks to a month, I can do this. I can do the work. I can follow this plan. And so we've had a lot of success in the inner circle because we do it in that format. So another thing that I found that really helps is trying to get a quick win or a small win. All right? Don't think you have to go for broke and knock the ball out of the park every single time for it to be a win. That you're going to drive yourself crazy doing that, and you're probably going to stay in procrastination mode because of it. Instead, one small thing. Man, I didn't have that soda today with lunch, which I always do. Win, right? I hit the gym, and I wanted to go home after 20 minutes, but I stayed for 30 minutes. That's a win, okay? Break down your tasks that you have to do every day, things that may be overwhelming you. Break them into small chunks, right? 2 or 3 at a time, even just choose one at a time, right? Make it manageable, okay? And then I would say one of the big ones here, put away all the mindless things that take away from our mental clarity, right? So if we're lazy, we're probably caught up in this mental state of laziness. And to break out of it, we have to start thinking differently and acting differently. But because we're consumed with social media, Netflix, video games, phone video games, apps, time fillers, we don't ever give ourselves a chance to think about, okay, how the fuck am I going to break out of this mode of being a lazy ass? Right? I mean, seriously, you have to think about it. So once in a while, I'll take a hot bath. I'll sit in like a scalding hot bath, turn the lights off, put away the phone, and now I'm forced to just be with myself and think. And how think about when the last time you did that was, right? For me, even, I mean, I have to seriously plan for that, because there isn't a moment in my day where I'm not either creating some content, looking at social media, writing something, sharing something on video, talking to somebody, responding to an email. It's all day, literally, from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. So I have to plan for that. And you may be in a similar situation. And so find that time, whether it's a walk by yourself out in the woods with no phone. I don't care what it is. Maybe you go fishing on your kayak and you get just think, right? How do I get better? How do I accomplish more? How do I break out of this bad habit of laziness? All right. I'd also tell you, and this is something that builds self-confidence too, it's staying true to your word. So if you commit to something, and you commit to yourself, I'm going to do X, just do it. I mean, it's so easy. When you're in that lazy state, it's so easy just to say, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up this morning at 6 a.m. I'm going to put on my sweats and my sweatshirt, and I'm going to run out, and I'm going to go for a 10-minute run. But the alarm clock goes off at 5:55, and you're like, fuck, it's cold. I could really use an extra 30 minutes of sleep, and I'm kind of tired. I was up late last night, right? And you start using excuses, and then boom, procrastination, boom, laziness takes over. Just, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Try for a week, one thing a day, something that you wouldn't normally do. Seriously, over time, this will make a huge difference. All right. Write down your goals. Write down your bucket list. Write down things that you really passionately want to do. Like for me, I want to visit Greece. That's a place that I really, really want to visit. I don't have that coming anytime soon, but it's important to me. And so for me to be able to go to Greece, I've got to first save the money for it, because it's a damn expensive trip, and it would be a long trip because that's a long flight. And I have to work on my fear of flying. And if I'm being lazy and not doing that, I'm going to be shitting my pants, and it's going to be a miserable experience for me and probably some other people on the plane, right? And I do have a terrible fear of flying. It's irrational, I know, but it's something I have to work on. Same for you, right? Write down your goals, right? What's important to you? Put your bucket list down. Work towards something. Maybe that will inspire you. Okay? Let's state the obvious. Get off your fucking ass and start exercising. Anything. Stretching, walking, foam rolling. Go to the gym, freaking walk on the treadmill. I don't care what it is. Just get moving more than you are now. In an ideal world, I'd love to see you training 3, 4, 5 days a week. Hell yes. Almost everybody, 99.9% of you listening to this can be in the gym 3 to 4 days a week, no problem. Strength training. That's extremely important. Do it. Food. Eat like you give a shit about your body. Seriously, it's easy to not think about that stuff, but over time, your organs, your body, your belly fat, everything just starts to fucking fall apart. Start eating like you care. Okay, those are the obvious things, but not enough people are doing them, okay? Get rid of the things that suck your energy, alcohol, soda, fast food, energy drinks, right? Things that sugars, things that suck your energy, right? How's that going to help you if you're lazy already? It's not. Get rid of all that shit. Replace it with fruits, vegetables, healthy foods, right? Lots of water, tea is fine. Just start eating better. I promise you, within just probably 2 weeks or less, you dump all that shit and you replace it with like actual good foods with one ingredient, you're going to feel 3 times, 4 times, 5 times better. You're going to feel so much better. And you're not even going to want to be lazy. That's the thing. You're not going to want to fall back into lazy mode. You're going to want to do shit, right? Another little trick here you can use is, if you're just being a lazy ass sitting around in your pajamas and sweatpants, change your clothes. Put on something else. Put on something that makes you feel good about yourself. Right? Go to Under Armour, buy some new stuff. That's what I do. Go out, buy some new shorts. Buy a shirt that looks good on you. Right? Take care of your appearance. Right? Sometimes that will work. That will get you moving. Okay? Also realize, you have to realize that you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We don't need to be. Don't strive for it. Just strive to be one day better. Right? And I stole this from a member of our community a while ago. He said something about make every day a non-zero day. And I posted about it before. And I just love the saying is every day should be a non-zero day, meaning you're doing something that you normally wouldn't that's going to make you better. It makes it, something. A 0 day is going through your day, doing the same shit you did yesterday, and you haven't improved your life at all. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people in this country anyway, in my experience, live those 0 days. Your goal is to not have any of those. And lastly, I'll say get help, right? Join a tribe, find a brotherhood. And again, I'm speaking to dads. As busy dads, we get caught up in life. A lot of our friends kind of fade off into the background, and we're caught up with kids stuff and career and our jobs and all that stuff. And the tribe aspect is gone, but it's incredibly, incredibly important. I just did a show recently with Larry Hagner from the Dad Edge podcast, and he's really done a wonderful job building a really, really, really engaged community of dads, and I'm part of it, and I've seen how powerful it is in his community and my community. When dads come together, men come together in a tribe, they feed off of each other. Working together is an awesome, awesome thing. And that's what we do in the inner circle. You can find an accountability partner, find somebody that cares about you to hold you accountable, or hire a coach, But seriously, I can't overstate the importance of you as a dad finding a tribe. The Fit Dad Nation is a great tribe. It's not for every dad. There are a lot of different tribes. Order of Man, run by Ryan Mickler, who I interviewed a while back too, has a phenomenal community. It's a huge community, very engaged, and he caters to dads that would probably classify themselves as, overly masculine. A lot of the guys there, axe-wielding, bearded dudes driving big trucks. Right? That's his niche. And that's a tribe. It's a big tribe. There's a lot of guys like that, So whatever your tribe is, find it, join it, get active, and use it. Okay, so, this is something that's just been very important to me, and that's why I wanted to have this as an episode, because over the years, and I've been working, I started the Fit Dad Nation back in 2014. I've heard so many men in our community say, I'm just too lazy to get shit done. I can't, I'm not happy. I'm not hitting my fitness goals. I'm not where I want to be, and I'm miserable, but I'm just so lazy. So hopefully what I told you today, some of the things I shared, helps you. If you need help, please contact me, reach out, join. We have a free Facebook group with the Fit Dad Base Camp. You can reach out to me at steve@fitdadnation.com, or you can certainly take a look at our private membership community, the Fit Dad Nation Inner Circle, fdnic.com. It's an awesome, awesome group. Anyway, guys, I really, really appreciate you listening, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Base Camp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.